Good morning, people. This week's walk's going to be the far western fells. 5 Wainwrights, around 8 to 9 hours, about 1100 metres of ascent and around 14 to 15 miles. As you can see, quite remote here. Cars parked on the road there. It's a walk we've been meaning to get out the way for a while. Quite a long drive from where we live, took about 2 hours and 40. Weather's meant to be good, 80% chance cloud-free summits, about 25-mile-an-hour winds and no rain or anything like that, so should be a good day. Bit chilly, but as always you warm up quick enough. You can just see Dom ahead there and got to pass through this forest to start. So I was having a good look at the route last night in bed. Stuart Marshall had said that you've got to be careful doing this if it's been raining bad, because apparently you've got to cross a bit of a river. It can be flooded at certain times of the year, and we have had that problem before on one of the previous walks. I think it was the Troutbeck medley, and the river had flooded and we couldn't get across, so we had to climb a fence. It hasn't been massive, the rain, the last couple of weeks, so I think it should be okay. But we're going to assess that, and maybe if it means us having to go back to join onto a proper path to return, we'll just do that rather than walking across land, because we've done that a few times in the past and I don't think it's the best idea, if I'm honest. So the first Wainwright's already just come into view. Just see the summit there. We're only 20 minutes deep. Early on the first, probably 10-15 minutes away max. And it's in the 400s, so it's on a couple of 100 metres of ascent already anyway. Fairly fast start to bag your first one of the day. But it's been quite a nice little walk, to be fair, through the forest. It's quiet. She is still quite icy. The cold days are starting to dissipate, with it being the end of February, which is a good thing. I used to love the winter walking, but come to the conclusion I'd rather be out in the summer nowadays as I got older. Far better. Gotta go up here to the first fell. Heading off to the left from the big path. I find these the worst. They take the breath out of me, mate. Just slow this stuff, but we're nearly on the summit. Come up a bit, like, put a fair bit in already. Shelter there. Grike, 488 metres, as you can see. Got a couple of piles of stones here and a little shelter, so one of them's the summit. But anyway, first one of the day, 38 minutes, 1.7 miles. So not too bad going, to be honest. You don't tend to get on a summit that quick usually on these Wainwright bagging routes, but it's a good little start. And as you can see, some fantastic views around here. Unreal, man. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. So it looks like our next one, Crag Fell, is just there. You can just see a summer cairn. So fairly quickly knocking them out of the way, yeah. Probably going to be a bit of space between the next few after these. Yeah, but we'll see. We should get over there fairly quick by the looks of it. Just looking at the route, once we've done this, we come off and we're right in the distance in the background. So, got a long walk ahead of us after this one. As you can probably see, the ground is boggy down this area. Not the best. A few people have mentioned about this walk, it does get boggy in places, so, and they're not wrong, but even look at this part, that's nasty stuff though. I think as well, sometimes when it's icy it helps, keeps it a bit more consolidated, the mud. Sick. Nice man. Crag Fell, 523 metres. Mate, what a summit this is. Some views up here, man. Ennerdale water below there. Unbelievable this. Ah, this is class, this, innit? Views are bossy, you know. Unreal this. How good's that, man?
No, we're welcome.
This is one of the, I always say it, but this is one of the best fells. That landscape there, unreal, mate. And yeah, as Dom's saying there, nice little wild camp spots around here. Quite, grass is quite dry, and that's on a long walk. Mate, there, I'm on there one day. That might be a little summer camp. Unreal, mate. But yeah, second one of the day. Fantastic, this one, can't complain. We were just talking then and we passed over all them. You can see like red pike and that on the Buttermere Marathon. From Starland's Odds, we were actually looking at Ennerdale water and we were like, wow, this is boss. And then Pillar over there, the big beast. Keep saying it, but it's like the perspective from other places, just class. Buzzing, mate, this is one of my favourite fells. That view's unreal. But yeah, belter. Been alright this walk so far, and we've come a long way. See the last summer over there in the distance. And we're heading in that direction. I think you can just see the path running up a fence line if the sun's not blocking it.
Good.
Worth it coming just for that, to be honest. I was a bit unsure about this walk, but that blew me away, that one. Very surprised how good that is. Got a bit of a slog coming up now, I think. So we're starting to drop off quite a bit. You can see below, and we're going to have to go up there, send back up. I did look at the elevation profile and there's quite a few drop-offs, and there's a big one towards the end, but it's not massive.
What way are we going here?
Yeah, look good though. Skirt round. So we're currently just on 2 hours in. We've basically been walking this fence line for probably half an hour, 40 minutes. Bit of a weird one. I looked on our west last night and it didn't really show a path down here, but as you can see, there's a very faint one. So it's better to just follow this fence line all the way. Trying to gauge the distance on the GPS there, and I can't imagine it being too close. It looks like far away on the GPS, but I know this is quite a long walk, so I'm wondering where the length's coming from, and I wonder whether we are walking a lot further than we think on that side, but we'll find out after we've bagged this one and get up there. But it looks like we're gonna head that way and then come back down this way, and the last Wainwright's straight ahead over there in the distance. So we've descended a bit, but we've got to head back up here to Caw Fell, just past that fence line by the looks of it. Makes sense to jump this little stile here. I just don't want to get up to the top and there's no way to get across the fence. So it might be worth doing this. Nice little path here, grassy one. Just see our summit in front of us there, third one. Weather is absolutely sick as well. It's chilly but nice and warm, if you know what I mean. It's a good little walk this. Some views as well, man. Caw Fell, 697 metres, third one of the day. That's been a slog since there, like that last one. You can see the second one in the distance, miles away. Some fantastic views though, man, as usual. Boss up here, and our next one's just over there, and then we're just turning back towards them ways, and the last one is in the distance. But yeah, can't complain again. Weather's unreal. Boss summit again, boss little one, and you'll see the most lawsuit behind me. Still yet to do that one, but that'll be coming up soon. Yeah, 2 hours and 54 minutes, and it was saying that it was 8 to 9 hours. We're flying for time here. I don't think we'd take more than say half an hour up there, and then we've got to return. But it's basically a straight path all the way back by the looks of it. But I do know you'd have to cross a bit of a river at some point, so I'm hoping that's shallow. But you never know with these walks. Made that mistake a few times, but I've got a towel with me just in case. So we're making our way straight over to Haycock, fourth one of the day. Doesn't look too high. It's in the 700s, but not a lot of ascent. Looks like we're following the fence line, and it's up the top of the fence line, I'm assuming. Yeah, it is. Straight ahead, Sea Talon. We done that a few months ago, and Middle Fell, and Westwater's just there, somewhere below Middle Fell. You won't be able to see it, but yeah, you should. We should be able to see it from this fourth one, from Haycock. But yeah, that Middle Fell was mad, man. If you watch the high level tour of Westwater, oh mate, climbing that Middle Fell.
Literally from the side.
Yeah, we literally went up it from the side and by the road. Stupid, but funny to look at if you want to have a good laugh. Look at that walk. But that was actually good, and that Sea Talon there, one of my favourite fells. That I can imagine Haycock's going to be similar quality. It's bossy even where you can see the coast over there.
We should get a good view of
class.
Caw Fell and Caw Fell.
Yeah, Caw Fell, and that'll be over there. We're stepping over here as Summit on this side of the fence. Views, man. So there's quite a few people here. I think on the GPS that's steeple, which is in big 800s, and you can just see quite a few on sea talon. So there's people about today as the weather's boss like, but there's not a soul on here, to be honest. Some views though, man. You can just see in the background there Grashmore as well, far away. Boss one there. And that looks like, oh no it is, it's Crag Hill or Eel Crag through the middle. So Haycock's got two summits according to the Wainwright book. I think this is one of them. And he said one's over the wall, but I think that's the bigger one over there. Just gonna go this way and have a little look at Washwater. Seeing as it's only close. Ah, boss mate. So there's Washwater, Middle Fell and Sea Talon, and there's Caw Fell Pike and Caw Fell. So that's called Scotan ahead of us. Some views though, man. So we're just gonna head back up to Haycock, see if we can find us at the summit. And there's actually a shelter, it says on the GPS. Yeah, it must be this one. Oh, there's the shelter there. There's a shelter there.
Oh.
Haycock, 797 metres. I think this is the official higher summit, but I don't know, you tell me. You know what I'm like, I'll go to them all though. That actually looks a bit higher, that one, but there's this one as well, and that looks like the one in the Wainwright book. But anyway, yeah, fourth one down. There's a little summit shelter here, which we're just gonna grab some lunch in now. But yeah, another belter. Again, can't complain, being a boss one, and some of the views. Boss, the way you can even see Caw Fell and Caw Fell Pike over there. You can just see Caw Fell Pike in a bit of clouds coming out of it now. Looks brilliant, man. Gonna re-energise now and then crack on. But yeah, it's cold when you stop, man. Got my gloves off and my hands are already red. Oh yeah, it's good then, isn't it? Oh, look at the views.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Careful sitting on the flank.
Ah, it said there's a cairn next to the shelter. Maybe that's it. And that's the proper one. He said over the wall, I think. So maybe that thing there isn't. Maybe this is the summit cairn, the official, and then that's one. But anyway, yeah, we've done them all. We've done all 3 or 4. There's cairns everywhere up here by the looks of it. But yeah, just gonna grab some lunch now. Tell you what, man, these summit shelters aren't half good when It's windy and cold. Nice to get out of it for a bit. So it's once you're on these summits, man, it's freezing, but gotta have this pie now, bit of chocolate, and we're flying back in the game. To our last one. Another little cairn here. Some view out of Ennerdale. And where are we going then? So we came from that direction and our last one is straight over there in the distance. And we are off to our last one of the day. Which way? Basically the way we came from. Straight over. So yeah, another great summer and a great spot to have lunch. But we're heading straight back to where we come from. And when we turn left up towards Caw Fell, and this one, we're heading straight over that way. Just on 4 hours with a few breaks. Can't really see it taking more than 4 back. It's just a straight line, and the only problem is we've got to cross water at some point, so might just have to take that into account. Could go wrong. So believe it or not, there's actually people up here. 3 people heading towards us. So you can just see our third Wainwright, Caw Fell, and Haycock up there. But we're not going to go that side, we're going to stay this side of the wall. The GPS is recommending the left side of it, so I'm going to stay on this side. It's virtually straight now for a while, before we descend quite a bit. What is that thing sticking out the top? You know what that is. Yeah. So you can just see the cairn we've just passed. By the looks of it on the Ordnance Survey, there's actually 3 cairns around Caw Fell, and someone's just said then that that's this summit, but it's not. The actual summit is called Silver Cove, and Wainwright says in the book that it's right in front of the wall. So it's the original one we went to. 2 women have just said to some other people that that's the summit, but Wainwright had said it was Silver Cove, which you'll be able to see on the Ordnance Survey. But obviously I just had to walk past that, and then there was one in between. But yeah, we're heading over to the last one anyway. And although Ordnance Survey saying there's not much of a path, you can see people have been here, and a few people that we've seen come up this way. There must be a way of getting to the last one, Lank Rigg. So yeah, you can see we're still on a bit of a path. It's very faint, and the rivers that we need to cross look dry, don't they? Looks like 2 people. I can see someone walking by the base of the river. So another Marshall special, but he did say if it's, you know, if that river's high, you're probably not going to cross it, but from what I can see it looks like we're flying across that. But it is doable this way. I wouldn't say don't do it because it seems alright so far. So we lost the path quite a while ago, the faint path. We've just took our time down here and it's getting us there. With, we can just see a building there next to the river. Gonna check that out now. And then I could see on the west that there's a path running from by that building up to Lank Rigg. This route is suggesting going straight up direct, but I'll take the path because I can just see it. It's just running up there somewhere. Just see it faintly. So I'll probably do it that way because I think that'll be tough just going straight up. So you can see there's a faint path again appeared, and there's one there. So there is paths going up. I don't know why it's not on the OS. Maybe it's they just don't list certain things. So it isn't dry in this part. Jesus. What's happened there? Don't know what's happened there. Looks like someone's eating it or something. See, it's a bit of its skull there. So there's the building. That theory about the river being dried up was wrong, but it looks like you can get across it in points. This is very boggy as well.
Probably a bit.
Yeah, it's not good, this. Oh yeah, very boggy. Well, we ain't getting across that for now. I think I've underestimated this. Just gonna walk down and see if there's a crossing point somewhere. I'm sure there'll be rocks somewhere to get across. It's not that deep at the moment, but not what I fancy either. So the building doesn't actually look like it's worth going in, there's nothing there. I'll give that one a miss.
Am I gonna die?
There's a mountain biker. That's how you get across the river. There goes Dom's boots. Are just them sealskins on?
Yep. Right the boat.
Dom clearly didn't listen to me advice about how to cross the river, but lucky she's got waterproof socks on innit. I've got a pair in my bag just in case. Now we've got to get across the other part. So this is a bit of a path going and apparently turning, but the drop down's massive, and a GPX file off the 36 Walks website is suggesting go straight there, and I'm not going for that. I'll see where this takes me, but I'm worried that we're getting higher and higher. We're not going to be able to get down to the bank and cross the river again. Yeah, if I'm totally honest, that was a bad idea following that thing. We should have just went back to where we came from this morning and come back on ourselves. It's just a big waste of time. Can't really see it, but people look like they've walked through. Or it might even be sheep paths, but it's not good, mate. There's a bit of a path up there we can probably get back onto, but that was just pointless. Wouldn't recommend it. Go back on yourself if you're gonna do it, and add some mileage on. Probably would have got it round quicker, to be honest. And there is paths running that way. So the OS is saying this thing here is a bit of a path, and that shoots up back up there. So that's definitely not passable. You can see here, there's a path that runs up to that other one. Just gonna have to walk down the river and see where it goes. Can't pass that, man. So you can see we're nearly on a path. If I'm honest, just go around. Not worth wasting your time there. It'd have been just quicker to go back on ourselves and go round the other side, but we've done it now anyway. We're up and we're going to join this other path, and only that the weather's okay. We've probably dodged a few bullets there. So you can see the two people. We're finally getting back on a bit of a path, but I suppose someone's got to make the mistakes, and anyone who's watching this will benefit from that mistake, so probably not a bad thing. But yeah, it's fine. We're back on path. It's all good. So there's the first summit just in the distance, and quite a few people on this route. Coming up to the last one, but there's two cairns, a trig point one and then a pile of stones. According to Wainwrights, so I'll go to both. Oh, there's two cairns. That's the trig point, and then the other summit there. Lank Rigg, 541 metres, fifth and final Wainwright of the day. So you've got 2 cairns there and a trig point there, but you've got to pass it anyway, so it's irrelevant, so take your pick. Walk's been great apart from that last part, but the only problem is now the GPX file's saying go over that way in the distance, and it's sort of a similar situation cutting across grass and that, and it doesn't look like there's a path on the OS. So we're going to head back to the trig point and go back on the actual path in the distance over there, because I don't think it's worth it. Got to learn from that mistake. So you can see here Lank Rigg summit, and it's asking us to go on the pink line back to where we was this morning. As you can see when you zoom in, it's all rivers and stuff, so not tackling that. We're just going to go back to the trig point now of Lank Rigg and then follow this dotted path back on ourselves, and that joins up with the pink one later on. I think you've got to be very careful with those GPX files, and we said we're not making that mistake again today, so I'd rather go out the way if it takes a while and get on a proper path. So there's a path heading down here now where we need to go. You can see it runs all the way down. So we've got a bit of a walk back this car down this bit of a track. A bit muddy in places though, I would say. So there's 2 people there crossing the river. They were ahead of us on Lank Rigg earlier on, and we actually wondered where theirs went, and it looks like they've done the Stuart Marshall special and come off the side of the mountain there.
I wasn't even messing around.
Your boots are Gore-Tex for a reason, like. Probably. It's busy now, isn't it? Says we've got 1.2 mile left. Reckons 30 minutes, but won't be that long. And that should put us under 8 hours, which, to be fair, after that big detour today, can't complain. Back on the road level, and we've just got to go round the bend about a mile away. Well, hey, you can finally see the car. It's actually a few round here. Right people, the far western fells. So the parking is a simple one. There's a place here called the Blakely Raise Stone Circle, and the route literally starts here. You can just see this path running through the forest, which you would have seen me walking through. And when you zoom in, you can see there's cars parked here, but I literally parked just next to the start of the route. I literally parked just here on the grass. There's enough room to pull in and leave space for cars driving past. And you would have seen me going past the sign at the start. So yeah, you've got this one. You can park a bit further up if you can't park there. You can also park here, better laybys. You can see there's a big lay-by here. And then another option is to park at the part where you come back onto the road at the end of the route. I've seen quite a few cars parked there at the end of the day. So from here, literally just up the road. So this path here comes off the end of the route. Yeah, there was a car parked here, just up the side. And as you can see, where this guy's parked, and that's the main path coming off
the end of the route. So nice and easy one for you. Can't really go wrong with it being quite remote. You could just park most places down that road. No one should bother you. But yeah, nice and easy one. And it's free, so even better. So let's get into the route. As you can see, the Blakely raised stone circle, which I mentioned, and I parked right at the start of the route. So the first section runs through a bit of a forest. You can see better on the OS map. But yeah, you basically run through here, nice and straightforward. Path's a bit muddy, but not too bad. Straight through a forest. Couldn't be any more straightforward. Up towards your first one, which is Grike, and which I mentioned took us about 40 minutes to get up there. You literally follow a path before you jump over a stile and head up the hill on a little path. Nice quick one to start. One of the quickest I've probably bagged on a Wainwright bagging route, to be honest. Can't remember any others being that fast. Nice little fella as well, as you would have seen, bit of summit shelter. From Grike over to Crag Fell, your second one. Wasn't very long between. This section can be boggy. A lot of water around this area. And yet again, you're up Crag Fell fairly fast. You would have seen me saying about that one. Easily one of my favourite Wainwrights that I've been up. Views around it were unreal. Views down to Ennerdale Water. You can see all the Buttermere Mountains. You can see Starland Dodds, Great Bourne, Red Pike. The views around are fantastic. And you can see in the distance towards the Mosedale Horseshoe. You can see there, the bottom Caw Fell. Absolutely class mountain Crag Fell. I will be returning for a wild camp. We were looking at the area around it and it's nice and dry, the grass, but just an amazing fell, and what a place that would be to camp. Try and get up there in a good day and it's class, mate. So coming off Crag Fell towards the third, Caw Fell, you end up dropping down quite a bit back onto a main path, and this area here with the trees, all the trees have been cut down. This is quite boggy, as I say, and this section, as you can tell, there's not really a path listed by OS. So what we ended up doing was just following the fence line. Literally stay on the fence line all the way. Say a fence line, but it's actually a wall. Just stay next to the wall all the way down. And you can't go wrong, really. You've got quite a bit of a walk, as you can see. You pass Iron Crag here, and it's got a cairn, which was on the opposite side of the wall, but I didn't look at it. As you hit this section, you do drop down a bit. You would have seen me jump over the stile here, just because I was wondering if there was going to be any way to pass further up. And you come to Silver Cove, which is Caw Fell's actual proper summit, according to Wainwright. As I said in the video, I did see people saying it was a different summit, but if you read the Wainwright book, he says Silver Cove, and the cairn is just over the other side of a wall, and you would have seen that on the video. Again, another great fell was made up on that one. You can see here the length between those two. You are walking quite a while after the first two being so close, but Haycock is literally just up the way from the summit of Caw Fell. You can literally stay on the wall line again, although the path is listed here. It's quite rocky, that area up to Haycock, but nice and straightforward. Stick by the wall line again, and as you can see, I'd said on the video, Haycock's got quite a few cairns around, but the main one was the one next to the wall, just over the way from the shelter. I had a little look when I got home, and that's the main summit. It's worth coming off and looking at the view towards Washwater, which you would have seen on the video. You can see Scafell Pike, Scafell, all the other big mountains around Wasdale and over towards Washwater. The views from Haycock are amazing, and even seeing over to Sea Talon just in the distance, one of my favourite fells. Also a great little shelter to have your lunch in, so good place to stop off and re-energise if you need to, as that's about the halfway point of the walk. So from there, you have literally got a straight walk down. You're literally past where you came from. As the woman had said, Caw Fell had other summits, obviously. You can grab them on the way past, you've got to pass them anyway. This is where the problems arise. You come straight off Caw Fell down here, and as you can see here, there is no paths listed. And my idea was to walk towards this intake works. As I mentioned in the video, there is faint paths, and there was people coming up that way, so people do walk that way. and we made our way down to the building, which was here at the intake works. The route was suggesting actually cutting this way across. The drops down there were a bit sketchy, so we decided to get as close to the river bank as we could before we crossed. We could see this path on the OS, so my idea was to go across and join onto there, as we were already down the bottom and had no way to get across. And I was fine skipping across. Dom actually went in the water and fully submerged the boots, but she had a pair of sealskin socks on, so boots got soaked but her feet didn't get wet. And they're a good thing to have in your bag as a backup. I carry them, I don't wear them all the time, but I carry them. And if I was to get my boots submerged, I'd dry my feet and then put them on. If you want to always keep your feet dry, maybe grab a pair, they're only like £20 and worth having. We crossed there on this part of the stream, and then we got up to this section to get up to the path and had to cross again. You do zoom out and you can see here just the dotted line listed. I do wonder whether the Marshall route, he'd come off Caw Fell and wanted to bag all these other ones, the other cairns, and went down this way for that reason, but I don't know. When we passed over, it suggested going straight up here next to this whole gill. And to be honest, I'm not going to lie, I was quite tired at that point, and I thought I'd rather try and get on a bit of a path. And yeah, we ended up joining here. We ended up finding a part of the river to jump over. But my suggestion would be, if you don't want to do it that way, look at going back on yourself. So you could return back to where you came from. And yeah, it's going to be a bit of a long walk all the way back down there. But as you can see here, there's a path not far off the wall. And to get onto that, you could pass back down here where you've come from. You could jump on this path here and just follow that down before you head up to Lank Rigg. We did see people coming across this way. I'm not sure if they come from the roadside and went round and joined on, but you can do it that way. And my advice would be, if you're doing it in winter or in bad visibility, don't do it over the river, because that could end badly if you're not careful. Yeah, with it being clear, it didn't bother me. I thought I'll tackle it. In hindsight, probably would have went back on myself, but it's up to you. I don't think, personally, going back the way you came and onto this path had had much time on, because you drop down so much to this stage. You're in the 300s. You've got to climb back up another nearly 300 metres, where you could have just stayed up here on this height and you've dropped down a bit slightly and come back up, and it'd been straightforward. But for anyone doing this route, you can make your own decision based on what I've said. I don't mind making the mistakes if it helps other people out, so it's up to you. And then yeah, we made our way up to Lank Rigg via this little path here. That was the 5 Wainwrights. When we got onto Lank Rigg, you can see there's a trig point and a cairn, so it's got 2 summits in a sense. But the Marshall route had basically said that he wanted you to go from the cairn directly down to this point here. And we decided not to and went back on ourselves and down this path. I was at that point where I thought, I'm not jumping over rivers and stuff again. And we've seen 2 people up on the summit and they disappeared. And as we got down to here, to this river part, we actually seen them climbing over. I think they'd done a similar thing to Marshall and come straight off the side. And yeah, you got a nice little stroll back the car. That's a better way, to be honest, this way, down a proper path. Yeah, and you come off on the road here where I said you could have also parked before heading back to where we come from. So here's the route on the 36 Walks website, just as a bit of a reference to what I was talking about. So that was the section where he come off Caw Fell and said go across the river. And I know it's drawn in straight lines, so it's not the best sometimes, but he'd suggested crossing 3 rivers there before heading up. And if you zoom in on Google Maps, there's the building that I crossed. So I jumped across in this section here and up towards the path. But as I say, bear this in mind, if you're doing it in bad weather or winter, probably wouldn't be a wise idea. But let's look at our stats. You can see on the elevation profile, steady going, and this big drop off was where we dropped to Riverside and had to come back up, which weren't the funnest thing in the world. It ends up being 15.2 miles, probably because we were zigzagging all over the place, and 7 hours and 42 minutes. It being rated at 8 to 9, so that was a good time considering how long that detour took us. So as I say, people, it's up to you how you want to do it. I probably recommend going back on yourself on the route, but if you are crossing the river, just take your time and do it in good weather if you can, because part of that route alone are very boggy. As always, people, anything relevant will be linked in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.